Okay, then you just record it. We will see later what is happening. Face the same difficulty. In the Ashtavakra Gita also, it goes into the vertical mode. After explaining what is not self, now Shankara, he started explaining what is the real self actually. Atate sampravakshyami swarupam paramatmanaha. Now I am going to explain to you in detail what is the nature of the true self. Yad vijnaya naro bandhan muktaha. Having known which, the humans, they go beyond bandha and they are liberated. Kaivalya mashnute, and they attain to that Kaivalya pada. So then after saying that, he started explaining. We have seen one or two verses we have seen. Yeah. We will chant 125 and 126 and then we will see 127. Asti kaschit swayam nityam aham pratyaya lambanaha avastatraya sakshi san panchakosha vilakshanaha yo vijhanati sakalam jagrat swapna sushuptishu buddhi tatvrutti satbhavam abhavamahamithyayam asti kaschit. There is something, there is a thing, swayam nityam, which is eternal, which is not in the scope of time, which is eternal. Aham pratyaya lambanaha, and that expresses as I, or it is the essence of the ego self. That also expresses as aham ahamtaya spurati hrut swayam. Okay, that expresses as the pure self in the heart. Avastatraya sakshi san, and that is the witness of all the three states. Panchakosha vilakshanaha, and it is distinctly different from the panchakoshas, which is covering the Atma, the self. And now, yo vijhanati sakalam, and he knows everything of the waking, dream and deep sleep. Whatever is present in the waking and the dream, or whatever is absent in the deep sleep, everything he illuminates, but he is not involved with anything. And he is not affected by anything also, by any happenings in the waking or dream, anything he is not affected. He is a sakshi. When I say he, it is not he, it is the self, my own true self. That is what we are always remember. So like Visiri Samyar, he is sitting now. Visiri Samyar. See, yoga, what is his name? Yogi Ram Surat Kumar is called as Visiri Samyar. No, you're doing it. I'm just joking, I know. Visiri Samyar, he used to have a fan, it seems. Yeah, that is his trademark, na? Visiri Samyar this. Visiri means hand fan. Okay. Just joking, yeah. Yapashyati swayam sarvam yam na pashyati kaschana yaschetayati buddhyadi natadhyam chetayatyayam yapashyati swayam sarvam yam na pashyati kaschana yaschetayati buddhyadi natadhyam chetayatyayam. The same thought is expressed in Kena Upanishad also. It's very beautiful. Yaha pashyati swayam sarvam. He alone sees everything. Peeping through the eyes, he alone sees everything. Or through the ears, he alone hears everything. Through the mind, he alone feels or thinks. But yam na pashyati kasyana. But none of these sense organs or the mind can ever see him or know him. See? Meaning what? As the reflected consciousness in the buddhi, with the reflected light only, everything else is known in the world. But with that senses or mind, it cannot be comprehended. See, for this, Gurudev gives a beautiful example. Once, he wanted more and more examples. So, once, a fellow was walking in pitch darkness, it seems, using a torch. He was just walking. Suddenly, he wanted to know which battery is used in this torch to illumine or to illumine the path. So, he thought, okay, I will now see which battery is used. So, he started unwinding and wanting to see the battery. But when he unwinded, he could not see the battery because the light has gone. So, with the torch light, you cannot see the battery which is giving light to the torch. See how beautiful this example. So, like that, the eyes and ears and everything is energized and illumined by the Atma, the self, the Atma Chaitanyam. But if you want to know the Atma Chaitanyam with the eyes and ears, you cannot. How beautiful. Similarly, yaha chetayati buddhyati na tadyam chetyayam. Meaning, because of its light, the buddhyadi, the mind, buddhi, etc. is functioning. You are aware of all your thoughts. Otherwise, how are you aware of your thoughts? Thoughts are rising and I know everything. Because in that Atma Chaitanyam only, everything is revealed. Whatever emotions, whatever thoughts. Sometimes, now I know that this feeling of jealousy is coming in my heart. You know it. So, bathed in the reflected consciousness, everything is known. But through the thoughts or the mind and the intellect, the self cannot be known. How beautiful. You cannot know it. Because they are limited. And this Atma Chaitanyam or the self is the absolute, infinite. So with the limited instrument, you cannot know the unlimited. But this limited instrument is energized and illumined by the Atma Chaitanya. Otherwise, they may not function. Without electricity, the bulbs may not glow. The fans won't run. That we are now feeling it now. You know what? This is December actually. You should come here April, May. Then you will know what is real heat. Chumma, it is nothing. This is nothing at all. April, May, you have to be here. My God. Till night 2:30, you no respite from this heat. Night till 2:30. From 2:30 to 6:37, something, afterwards it starts. For the 3 months we are roasted, literally roasted. That is the Annamala Kshetram, Agni Kshetram. So, electricity, yeah, because summer everybody consumes a lot of electricity. So, electricity also goes. So, you have the first hand experience of Naraka, the hell here. So, you should be very happy. It is nothing now. It's very cool, pleasant, actually speaking, pleasant. From Tiruvannamalai standard, it is pleasant. So, without electricity, the fans may not function. With the electricity, only the fan functions. Similarly, these equipments also function because of the light of the Atma Chaitanya. But with the equipment or with the eyes or ears, the mind, you cannot know the self. So, we have to drop everything, go beyond. And then when you remind yourself, that is the self. Once again, you start knowing it, gone. Because then you are objectifying it. There is a knower and the known dichotomy. The absolute self is not divided into knower and known. He is absolute self because there is no knower and known. Please understand. Once when you start trying to know it, then knower and known is born. And no more it is the self. It is samsara. Samsara means what? The experiencer and experienced. Same thing only. So therefore, the intelligent, wise seeker, getting instruction from his guru, he drops everything and he expects nothing. And he doesn't want to know also. He remains there. That is why tyage naike amrit. You have to drop everything and then no expectation. And then remain there. The truth, that is the truth. Whatever is the truth. Ulladu, Bhagavan says Ulladu. That which is Ulladu Narpadu. 40 verses is written on that Ulladu only. Ulladala, Ulla Unar, Ullado, Ulla Porul, Ullalara, Ullatte, Ulladal, Ullamenum, Ulla Porul, Ullalevan, Ullatte, Ullapadi, Ullade, Ullal Unar. The first verse. He plays with the words, you know. That Ulladu, he has got different meanings actually in different contexts. Ullam also is, the heart also is Ulladu. Ullal means to think also. Like that he plays with words. If I start explaining that, we cannot go any further here. There is a different separate session for that, you know. So Ulladu means that which is. So you are that. But I need not know that, Swamiji. Don't try to know it. See, all through these years, we have been knowing things in the world outside. So the same yardstick you want to apply here also. Because we are now desperate to be a Brahmajnani. See, I have got all other doctorate, all other degrees. Now only one degree is baki hai. They say I should be a Brahmajnani. I want to do that also and see. Now I am going to know this Brahman, conquer this Brahman. Maharaj, you have to lose yourself in Brahman. And nothing else you should expect. Be there. And you are that. That is very difficult for egoistic people. They want some concrete result. They want to know it and put it in their jobi. Brahman I have conquered and it is here. Another feather in my cap. I am a Brahmajnani too. Not only I am an IITian, not only I am a CEO, I am Brahmajnani too. And the parupalla inge vehadu. That will not work here. You have to lose everything. You have to go naked. That's it. And sarva karma parityagam means what? Even you should not expect anything from there. The truth reveals itself means what? Wherever you are, that is the truth. And people expect something to happen very dramatically, you know. Dang, something happens. I'm realized. Eureka. It will not happen that way. You know. Then I have seen some light. Array tube light, you cannot see the self. I have heard the divine nada. Whatever you hear is not the truth. I have understood. Whatever you understand is not the truth. Then what else should I do, Swamiji? Give up everything. And then do what? Nothing. Be there. How long? If you ask this question, you are not fit enough to pursue this path. Don't ask how long. Then be yourself and be and be and be. Where வேலை வெட்டியே இல்லையா எங்களுக்கு? Is there no other business or what? We have so much to do. Then it is not for you. Go and do. யார் சாப்பாடு கொடுப்பா? Who will feed me? The Lord will feed you. How does it matter? So therefore, if a person is dedicated to the self, and if he abides means what? He remains as a self, not to know the self, then the self is revealed. By itself. See, by itself, again and again it is said because you need not know it. When you try to know it, gone. You are caught in the knower-known dichotomy. This is fascinating, I tell you. To reveal this truth only, Arunachala has come into existence. Because Brahma and Vishnu tried knowing him, they could not know. They failed. That is what the story goes now. If Brahma and Vishnu cannot know him, how can you and I? See? So we cannot know him. Just drop it. Then why are we studying scriptures? To know that we cannot know him. Why are we doing karma? To realize that there is no use of karma. Why are we doing bhakti? To realize that there is no use of doing bhakti. Why are we studying scriptures? To know that there is no way of knowing truth. என்ன சுவாமி இப்படி சொல்லிட்டீங்க? Why are we doing yoga? Yoga means Ashtanga yoga, to understand that the mind cannot be controlled. Mind cannot be controlled? Yes. Mind subhava chanchalatmika. As long as the vasanas are there, it's going to roam around only. Temporarily you can apply a brake, but again it will roam. Palaya kurudi kadavattaradi. It will roam only. Even if you go to Rome, it will roam. You cannot stop it. So what to do? What to do? Live with it. Don't worry about it. Whatever happens, it has nothing to do with you, the real self. Just take that stand and be there. That's all. So the Paramajnanis are one who have realized nothing needs to be done. It's not that nothing could be done. Nothing needs to be done. As long as we have some idea that something has to be done, then Jiva Bhava is asserting. As long as there is an idea that something is to be known, then the ignorance, Ajnana, is asserting itself. So therefore it cannot be known. It cannot be illumined. That is what we chant every day. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Nema vidyato bhanti kutoyam agnihi. Even the sun and the moon, those lights cannot illumine the Paramatma. They are wonderful lights. Na? How can this camphor light, this deepam, small deepam, can illumine him? Cannot. How foolish I am. That's what we are saying. How foolish I am. I am trying to illuminate Paramatma with this small deepam. In fact, because of his light, everything is illumined. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam idham vibhati. He alone is one light which illumines everything. There is nothing else. He is a one light. He is not one light for each body. Only one for all the bodies, all the mind, all the intellect. This is the discovery. It is not one Atma for one body, one mind. No. Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetrajnayo jnanam yattat jnanam matam mama. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, Sri Krishna reveals, I am the one kshetrajna through all the kshetras, all the fields, all the equipments. I am the one electricity which is functioning through all the equipments, whether it is a tube light or bulb, whether it is a fan, refrigerator, this, that, everything. I am the one electricity. So I am the one principle, conscious principle, behind all the body minds. So that is my true self. What a wonderful thing, see. That is my true self is, which is substratum of all. So that is what is revealed here. Because of his light, everything is known. But he cannot be known through any other of these equipments. He cannot be thought of. You stop imagining about him, you know. ஒரு மாதிரி இப்படி இருப்பாரோ அப்படி இருப்பாரோ அங்குஷ்ட மாத்திர புருஷா உள்ளுக்குள்ள குட்டியா ஒரு அங்குஷ்ட மாத்திரம் இருப்பாரோ. Don't imagine anything about him. He's beyond imagination. Like space, they say. See, even space you cannot imagine, you know. What you imagine about space? இப்படி பெருசா இருக்கு. What பெருசா இருக்கு? Even space you cannot imagine actually. So what can you imagine about the truth? See, this is why it's becoming very difficult, you know. You don't think about it, you don't imagine about it, you drop everything. We get very, very annoyed and disappointed, you know. When we learn more and more of scriptures, we become more frustrated. At least when we were doing this yogasana business, this, you know, pranayama business, we are happy. We are doing some sadhana, you know, something concrete we are doing, you know. Then puja and parayana, something concrete. Even this kind of satsang, something concrete we are learning. But the final thing they say, you can't. Then we become very frustrated. Then what to do? Don't do. No. We become very lazy. Already we are not doing anything. We are only browsing the net and we are in the net. See, actually Maya has become very virulent in Kali Yuga. Those days only this and that distraction. Kamine, Kanchana, Kamini, Kirti. Now Ramakrishna should add one more. Another data. Data. Not computer is innocent, Amma. What can you see in computer? Now you gift a computer to your grandson without a net connection. He will say, Ayya, who wants it? You throw it away. You can't do anything with computer. Once upon a time, computer was a big thing. At what? So, net connection. Connection is very important to the net. That is a Maya's net. So, therefore, you cannot know this truth. That is the sad part of it.
Then what is the meaning of self-realization?
You cannot realize the self.
People are using the word self.
Yeah, it is used for language sake. See what Bhagavan Ramana says, the self is already realized only. You are not going to realize it. You just be yourself. That is self-realization. It is not knowing, it is being. So, in one of the day by day with Bhagavan, question and answer, he says, what do you mean by self-realization? As though self is not realized, you are going to realize it? The self is Nitya Mukta, always realized only. But the ego should drop, ego should perish. When you allow the ego to go, the self alone remains. In between the self, this ego self, this ahankari only is creating all trouble. He only wants to know the self also. He feels he is bound, he wants to know the self. He is false. This recognition is self-realization. Recognition wants what? He has to go. So that is what it is said. இந்த பேஸ்ல போனா நம்ம எப்போ போய் சேர போறோம் தெரியல. ஏன விஸ்வமிதம் வியாப்தம் யம் ந வியாப்னோதி கிஞ்சன ஆபாரூபமிதம் சர்வம் யம் பாந்தமனுபாத்யயம் येन विश्वमिदं व्याप्तम् यं न व्याप्नोति किंचन आभारूपमिदं सर्वं यं भान्तमनुभात्ययम् येन, by whom Vishwamidam Vyaptam, the whole universe is pervaded. We saw in the Guru Stotram also, na? Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam, Trilokyam Yat Characharam. So, like that, by whom everything is pervaded. There is nothing which is not the self, or it is the adharam of everything. But Yam na vyapnodi kinchana, but nothing can pervade him, or nothing is in the true self. Meaning everything is negated in the true self. In the true self, the self alone is. So there is no entry for anything in the self. Self is pure by itself. In me, the self, sound of the chirping of the birds rise, and then they go back. And I am the I am the basic principle in everything. So, they are in me, I am not in them. Meaning, I am in no way influenced by them. No way I am tainted by their presence or absence. But without me, without the Chaitanyam illumining the ears and therefore the sound cannot happen. But with or without the sound, I am. I am not dependent on the sound. With or without the sound, I am. In the presence or the absence, I am. Illumining both the presence and absence. But without me, nothing is. That is why in the prayers, in the Guru Padaka Puja also, during Avahanam we say, Yat Satyena Jagat Satyam. Because of his existence, everything is existing. Yat Bhasena Bhatiyat. Because he is shining, everything else is shining. Means everything is illuminated. Yadhanandena Nandanti. Because of the Atmanandam, the real Anandam, everything else is blissful. Otherwise, there is no happiness in this world. Everything is borrowed from the self. We think the world has got happiness, but not. Atmanandam alone is. Yadhanandena Nandanti. Tasmai Shri. That is the nature of the Guru. I prostrate unto him. So here also it said, he is pervading everything. By him, everything else, everything is pervaded. But nothing pervades him means what? In him, acting, from his standpoint, there is nothing. Are you getting the point? And Abharupamidam sarvam yam bhantam. See, he is illuminating. Illuminating means actually the Atma self cannot illuminate directly anything. Only when he is reflected in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the reflected light only can illuminate everything. An example is given in our Shastras. See, let us say the light is there, sunlight is there, let us say. But the room is dark. Somehow every door is closed, let us say the room is dark. But there is a small opening and outside you have got a mirror. And then the light is reflected in that and then it comes inside, let us say. So through that light you can see everything. Actually speaking, you know, these things I am unable to understand or even imagine. They say actual sunlight is not perceptible. Actual sunlight is not seen. Only when it is falling on some object you can see it. The reflected light only you can see actually. The science also says that. Actual sunlight nobody can see. See, I am saying this book. Here also everywhere sunlight is there, but on the book it is specifically reflected so we see clearly the objects. So, with the actual Chaitanyam, nothing is illumined. Why? In him there is nothing to illumine. You understand? In him there is nothing to illumine. But somehow when he is reflected in the Antakarana, that is mind and intellect, maybe Vijnanamaya Kosha, let us say, then the reflected light is there, na? That only is illuminating everything. So for everything to be known, the reflected light is important. But the reflected light is not there without the original light. So therefore it is said, because of him only everything is illuminated. So Abha Rupam Idam Sarvam Bhantam. Abha means what? The reflected light. எல்லாம் ஒரே ஆபாசமாக இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? When you watch a vulgar movie, எல்லாம் in Tamil Nadu, in our part, they say எல்லாம் ஆபாசமாக இருக்கு. Abhasa means what? It is not true. It is only an appearance, reflected. So, by itself, Atma the self has nothing else in it. Somehow, when the mind and buddhi is active, somehow it is illumined, then the reflected light is illumining everything. Then if you ask, In the Atma, the self, how come the mind came? If you ask this, there is no answer. When you say ignorance, you understand? And can ignorance be in the self? If you ask this, no answer. See, practically speaking, yes, we see objects other than ourselves in the world outside. Practically speaking, we feel there is a manabuddhi. So, it is said that only through the Atma Chaitanyam reflected in the manabuddhi, everything is known. மதிக்கு ஒளிதந்து மதிக்குள் ஒளிரும் மதியினை உள்ளே மடக்கி பதியில் பதித்திடுதல் அன்றி பதியை மதியால் மதித்திடுதல் எங்கன் மதி. So what we are doing in Atma Vicharam, you know what we are doing in Atma Vicharam? This reflected light is turned and put on itself. So that what happens? The reflection disappears and that light remains. You understand what I am saying? With the reflected light, you can see things and objects. You give up all the objects, all the thoughts. You put back the reflected light unto itself by vichara. Who am I? Then what happens? That reflected aspect loses its meaning and the real light shines. That is what happens in Atma Vichara. So here it is said, because of his light only. Abharupam, very clear Adi Shankara, he is not sort of, there is no sort of ambiguity here. Abharupam idam sarvam yam bhantam. By the reflected light only everything is illumined. Anubhati ayam. After that everything is known. Without that light nothing is known. You know what the question is? You please listen carefully now. A very important thing. According to the Vedanta Shastras, only when the reflected light shines, then when it bathes all the thoughts, everything is known. What we think generally, that there is a world and it is known through the senses and I know it. But here, the Atma Chaitanyam reflecting and then the thoughts are illumined and we know everything. So, is there a world? Therefore we are seeing, or we are seeing, therefore a world? So it's a very deep thought. This is called as Srishti Drishti Vadam or Drishti Srishti Vadam. We all believe that there is a world, we are seeing it. But Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi and others, they say, the I arises with the reflected consciousness reflecting in it, so many things are seen. Whatever the vasana, that you see. Like in the dream also in the waking. Because I arises and then sees, there are seen. It is not that there are seen, so the eye sees. Oh my God, Swamiji, please leave us. Nanga polachu poyarrom. You know. இதெல்லாம் எங்கே போய் சொல்கிறது எப்படி சொல்கிறதுன்னு தெரியல. So, because the I arises, there are some thoughts about the object of the world. So, now question is, உலகம் இருக்கிறதுனால, because there is a world, am I able to see, or because I is arising and seeing, there is a world? This is a very deeper thought actually. See, without the Atma Chaitanya, nothing can be seen. Only through Atma Chaitanya, everything is seen. Atma Chaitanya is there, everything is seen. Atma Chaitanya is not there, nothing is seen. So, Atma Chaitanya alone is expressing as everything.
That knowing principle is.
That's what, the knowing principle is the Atma. But what I am trying to say, the Atma Chaitanya itself is everything. It's not that there is everything and Atma Chaitanya is knowing.
We have to get it.
Because how do you know that there is something in the world outside? Through thoughts only we are knowing. Thoughts are not available without the Atma Chaitanya. So therefore nobody can say there is a world apart from thought. And nobody can say there is a thought apart from the Atma Chaitanya. Therefore Atma Chaitanya alone is, other things are imagined. இப்படிதான் நம்ம சாஸ்திரம் சொல்லுது கடைசியில். That is why it is very, very difficult when you go deeper and deeper. So here, yena vishwam idam vyaptam yamna vyapnodi kinchana abharupam idam sarvam yam bhantam anubhatyayam. Because he is shining, everything else is illumined. See, one more thing I am telling you. Don't feel bad or don't feel, miserable when you don't understand things. Because I myself don't understand anything. Chumma talking. So Adamar, you chumma here. You understand. Because you cannot understand anyway, we told you now. See, in Kenopushad it is said, the teacher teaches. He asks, do you understand? He says, yes, I understand. Go, you have never understood anything, go. Twice, thrice he asks, do you understand? He says, yes. No, go. Then he says, I have not understood, but doesn't mean that I have not understood. What he says, at the last what he says, I have not understood. But doesn't mean that I have not understood. Oh, good. Slowly you are coming to our way. So therefore, see, I find some people who are little beginners, they are totally getting touched, doom, bombarded all the sides, not knowing where to go. So don't worry. See, Bhagavan is there. He is in our heart. He will guide us. And everything will be known. Don't worry. Everything will be clear. Not today or tomorrow. In the due course, everything will be clear. We need not worry about it. See, it is not some sort of bragging or anything. I tell you very honestly, for 25 years or 30 years, we have been thinking only about this. That is why we are able to speak in this language, these things. The very first day when I had gone to our Swamiji, I also would have been like you only. No, not knowing things. So when you study, contemplate, understand, think about it more and more, meditate on it, everything will be clear. It is only application of the mind. We have to apply our minds. And we should be very sincere and pursue it diligently. That is all. It's only application of the mind. And we should have humility to sort of give up all our wrong understanding, pet ideas. That is all. So don't worry about it. Not only that, I will tell you one more thing. I always feel this Vedanta knowledge for me is not this Janmas. I must have pursued so many Janmas. Like that, you also must have been listening so many Janmas. So it will happen, everything. If you have not listened, you have started now. So it will happen. See, we have lived in ignorance for how many yugas, how many Janmas. So immediately everything will not happen. Slow and steady will happen. Now stop, Swamiji, 1 minute. Just now you said, you see, therefore there is a world. Now you say so many yugas you have lived and all those nonsense. What are you talking? I have caught you. I have caught you now. You can say, you know what? இதெல்லாம் கதை மாதிரி சொல்கிறது தான். ஆனால் உண்மை என்னன்னு கேட்டால், since because you are seeing there is a world. It's not that there is a world you are seeing. In fact, there is no world to see. There is nobody to see. That is the absolute truth. So we need not confuse about all those things now. We will go one by one. Only thing you understand, because of the Atma Chaitanyam, everything is illumined. See, everything is known only through thoughts, please understand. Because in deep sleep there are no thoughts, you don't understand, you don't see anything. These thoughts, that is what they have found out. Without the attention, nothing is known. This attention is called as Atma Chaitanya, reflected light. Without attention, nothing is known. If you don't give attention, it is not there for you. That attention is Atma Chaitanya, reflected in the body, mind and intellect. So therefore, very clear, without the Atma Chaitanya, nothing is known.
It's not reflected light, this I arising is reflected light.
Yes.
And
Yeah, it's reflected light only. See what he says, Nisargadatta Maharaj, what he says, Nisargadatta Maharaj, what he says, this I arising, that is the experiencer or the knower. He says, he is like the tip of a pen. He says the I arising, Nisargadatta Maharaj says, like a tip of a pen which scribbles everything, and there is a world picture, he says.
so I is the subject.
I is the experiencer, knower, and when he arises, he is like a pen who scribbles, and there comes the world, he says. So don't worry about all those things. Now we are getting really lost. Yasya sannidhi matrena dehendriya manodiyaha vishayeshu swakiyeshu vartante prerita iva yasya sannidhi matrena dehendriya manodiyaha vishayeshu swakiyeshu vartante prerita iva yasya sannidhi matrena, in whose sannidhi, whose presence he is there. Because of his presence, ada sannidhi matrena, deha, indriya, manodiyaha, vishayeshu, swakiyeshu vartante. Because he is there, he is present, the senses, the mind, the buddhi, they function in their respective field. If not him, they cannot function in the field, in their respective field. Because sannidhi visesham, sannidhi matrena, he is present, borrowing the existence from him, borrowing the light from him, borrowing the energy from him. All the other senses, mind, everything function in their own respective fields. Swakiyeshu vartante. Vishayeshu swakiyeshu vartante. They function in their respective fields. Like what? Prerita iva. Like the servants, they obey the master. And taking the instruction from the master, how the servants, they function in the respective field. Similarly, because of his sannidhi visesha, sannidhi matram, just he is present, he is not doing anything. He is not even asking anyone to do anything. See, that is very important. He is not doing anything, he is not asking anybody to do anything. Inspired by his presence, sannidhi matrena, everything happens. And the senses, mind, everything, they run in their own field. They do their own functions. How beautiful. See, that is why in the other Shastras it is said, Shiva is that Parabrahma Paramatma. So Shakti, she dances, deriving energy, everything from Shiva. By Shiva himself, he has nothing to do. He is not involved in anything. And he is not affected by anything. Our pavan devenu irukar. Shakti da aatam ella Shakti da. Shakti is only really active and doing everything. And Shakti, because it knows everything, it is not affected also. Now we are deluded, and that's why we are suffering. There is no problem for Shiva or Shakti also. So therefore, in his presence, everything is inspired. See, the sun rises. This is another example given in our Shastras only. Sun rises means what? In the sun's light, everything happens. The people get up, and then the birds also, they get up, and then the agriculture happens, trees also grow, everything happens. It is not that sun, after rising, he says, now everybody start. He never gives any instruction. And then while he going back, he says, now enough, go back. He is not doing anything. I told you, no, he doesn't even know what is light. So, sun is there, inspired by his light. In the presence of his light, all the jivas, everybody start functioning. Similarly, this is Jnana Suryan who is inside. Getting inspired by that Jnana Surya, everybody functions, everything happens. The senses, the mind, everything functions in the respective field. Like the servant, by himself, by herself, she is nothing. By deriving the authority from the Bijaman, they say, hey, you cannot enter into this now. Yajaman is sleeping, now you cannot meet him. Who has empowered him? The Yajaman has empowered him. Nobody can come and say like that. Since Yajaman has empowered him, taking his power on himself, he says, no, you cannot do this. You know. So another example I am telling you. Suppose if Ranjani Amma, our coordinator, says, no, you have to adjust with this room. We cannot give you anything else because there is nothing to give. Then she cannot say herself. She must have discussed with Swami, and then she must be very clear in her mind. Then she is telling you, you cannot make her a scapegoat. No, I am going to drag this cot out and I am going to sleep. Sleep, along with the snake you sleep. Like a Shiva. For seconds, if you open the door also, our friend will enter. So, I want to drag the cot out now. See, I understand your troubles. I tell you sincerely. I understand your troubles. I understand your problem. But what else we can do? Because this is what is available. See, those days you should remember always, you should go back and remember Swami Tapovanam and those sannyasis. Mahatmas, because they were not having anything, maybe not even a blanket to, cover themselves. But they were very sincere about the pursuit of this knowledge. So they didn't mind anything. That is how we should have, at least 10%, 5% of that. See, nowadays what happened, in other ashrams I am finding, this camp is at a 5-star resort. 7 days camp in 5-star resort. Only 35,000 per day. What? 35,000 per day, pa. It is all included. Lunch, coffee, tea, everything included. And then you get a very palatial suit. You also will have a suit, pant suit. And the suit you get, and you get everything. You can order for things. Hey, today please change my, bed sheets. My, toilet is not clean, please do it. Please leave your keys and go, we will do it. But here there are nobody to tell you that. Please leave your key and go. Because we are humble, simple ashram, And sincerely we are thinking, next year we are planning to have this Bhagavad Gita camp. We are wanting to put another floor, one more floor, and we want to have only 3 people in the room. We are thinking about it, honestly. But when I discussed with my engineer, our building contractor, he says you need 1 crore of rupees now. 1 crore or 80 lakhs at least, he says. So Bhagavan should give, so we can do that. See, we are not corporate Swamis, we are very humble Swami. Every month we get some dakshina and we live. That is all. Not much actually. But we have got this passion to teach, to give this knowledge, whatever we have learned from our acharyas. That is why this is happening. You understand? So we can't help. So what I was saying, if our coordinator is saying something, she is deriving the power from the acharya. She is not doing of her own. Suppose if she does anything of her own, she won't be an acharya, she won't be the coordinator next time. You understand? See, the Krishna, he takes the flute and he sings, he plays. If the flute also started singing some different raga, let us say, he wants to sing Bhupala ragam, but the flute says, I want now Murari ragam. It's contradictory. So he says Bhupala ragam, rumba pleasant ragam. This morning we had this the Pradasmarami. Murari means Ore Alugai. So if she starts Murari, then what will Krishna do? He will throw that flute away and he will go for the proper flute. So therefore, please don't find fault with the coordinator. She is pavam. She cannot go and report to the acharya also. She cannot face the people also. We are there in our room, not worried about anything. Chalo, whatever happens, happens. That is like self. It is not affected by anything. It is not doing anything. And that reflected light power on the ego self only is getting hit. You understand? Like that it borrows the light and the existence and it functions in the world outside. You understand? So this is how everything happens. Ahankaradi dehantaha Vishayascha sukhadayaha Vedyante ghadavadyena Nityabodhaswarupina Ahankaradi dehantaha Vishayascha sukhadayaha Vedyante ghadavadyena Nityabodhaswarupina Ahankaradi dehantaha. Starting from the ahankara, the ahamvritti, the ego self, dehantaha, till the gross body. Vishayascha, even the sense objects. Sukhadayaha, whatever reactions in the mind, sukha or dukkha. Everything is known. Ghatavad yena, by whom? Like, Ghatavat means what? Like one knowing a pot. See, you know a pot. When the pot is there, you know it clearly, na? Like that, everything is known. By what? By this light. Nitya Bodha Swarupina. And that is the eternal Bodha Swarupina, pure consciousness or the real true knowledge. Here once again a warning. As I told you, Nitya Bodha Rupina Potrikaliya, that eternal, that true knowledge, Satchit. In fact, not because of that. Though it is said again and again because of that, we should always understand when it is reflected in the mind. Then everything is known. From where? Ahankaradi dehantam. From the ego self, mind, intellect, all their modifications, the body and all its modifications, and the world of objects, and the sukha dukkha, everything is known because of that light. So that is Atma, the self, the eternal. See how beautiful. See, when some people ask whether there is God, what they ask is there a supreme power? That's what we should understand. You cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot feel, you can understand without Him. What to talk? If you ask this question, whether there is something higher or not, see, without His illumination or His grace, you cannot even see, you cannot listen, you cannot think, you cannot even speak, you cannot even deny Him. With His grace only you are denying Him also. If this grace is not there, if His grace is not there, you cannot deny Him also. You cannot assert Him also. You cannot be alive also. Because of His light, the eyes are illumined and you are able to see. Your ears are illumined, you are able to hear. Your mind is, sort of bathed in light, so you are able to feel and think. Because of His presence, drawing energy, the senses are functioning in the respective field. The hands and legs are moving. Everything is happening because of His presence. Even if you are an astikhavati, an atheist, you are able to deny Him because of His presence. So when you ask whether He is there or not, what can we say? Okay, now we shall say this way. Are you there or not? I am though there. Yes, the essence of yourself is the God. Oh, is that so? Yes. Then I agree. We don't explain properly, that is our problem actually. Are you there? Yes, I am there. Yes, I am there. The essence of your true self, your true nature, is God actually. God is not sitting somewhere. God means the essence of your true existence. Are you existing? Yes. Nobody can deny their existence. Are you there? I am. So find out who you are. If you find out who truly you are, that is God. That is why people are so fascinated about Bhagavan. If you come to Bhagavan, you need not believe in anything, any God, or even any scripture. Do you believe in yourself? Yes, I believe. I am there. I believe in. You start from there. You find out who you are truly. You give attention to your own self. That is all, nothing else. You give attention to yourself and find out who you are. If you find out, that is God. You have come to the right place actually. Then everybody is very happy about it. Otherwise, go on telling some stories. There is God somewhere doing this, doing that, and you are unable to see Him also, unable to know Him also. And then so many tamashas happen in His name, and so much of money collected in His name. See, all these things are udara nimittam, bahukrita vesham. Udara nimittam. See, everything is for udara nimittam. Most of the religious things happening are udara nimittam. Not even udara nimittam. Udarathu evlo venum? Only one chan only, na? Not only greed actually it is. See, the idea of building a temple is you may get lot of money. First idea is that God and bhakti, adalla appuram. And if you go to US, you can feel it, Sorry, please don't mistake me. In every temple, they have got all gods. You name them, they are having there. It's like a museum of gods. Or I would say a zoo where gods are kept. Fenced, don't go, don't run away anywhere. You have to be here. So first Ganesha, you get a very beautiful marble Ganesha also to attract North Indian crowd. And you get Karupu Ganesha also, black Ganesha, stone Ganesha also to South Indians. Because South Indians are not happy seeing the well of white Ganesha, That is white Ganesha. You want black Ganesha, made of stone. Okay, take. And then you get Shivalinga also. And you get Parvati also in black. And you get another Durga in white marble. And you get Venkatajalapati freely. Everywhere you get Venkatajalapati, Pava Venkatajalapati. And you get Rama, you get Krishna, you get Hanuman. Without Hanuman, no temple is complete. You get Hanuman, you get Navagraha. You name it, we have it. Whatever may be the festival, we will cater to you. You have to pay only this much of money. And priest also we have got. You need not go anywhere. You pay money, we will give you the priest also. You pay money, we will give you the blessings also. And Rama, Krishna, nobody can be born on any other day. Only Sunday you are born. Rama is born only on Sunday. Krishna only on Sunday. Shivratri only can happen on Sunday. Nothing can happen on the weekdays. Everything on Sunday only it should happen. Better Rama, you be born on Sunday. Then we will celebrate. You're not understanding. Pavama Pakarayana.
Narayan Seva?
What Narayan? That is there. That is the main aspect. It is not Narayana Seva. It is canteen. Canteen. Pay nominal only, but that is the main attraction. See, people go only to eat. By the way, they go and see the God. Other coach Narayana said, only when you go and eat and come, he will get angry now. To please him also, bye. And you know what? So much of crowd only in the canteen. In the Sannidhanam, there are only 2-3 people, Pavama, they will be there. But you see their discussion happening, everything happening in the canteen. And food flowing. My God, it is the most vibrant place in the temple. And all the students are very happy. Saturday, Sunday, they get food free. Free or very nominal they get. All traditional, authentic South Indian food you get. Masala dosa you get. Vada you get. With authentic sambar you get. Because they get all the cooks from India. From India they get. Not chumma anga kadiyadu. Professional, everything is professional. You get all gods. Very nice. And especially Venkatajalapati is special item, in the menu. Because Telugu people are very attracted towards Venkatajalapati. And now not even Telugu, whole of India is attracted only to Venkatajalapati. North Indians, they come. And Balaji is okay. What is the name? And he cannot open his eyes also. Because Namata avlo perusa pottu kanne moodiduvaanga. Nowhere he can open his eyes. Pavam he is. Paduthra paad irukku. Till 2:33 he has to be awake and bless everybody in the Tirupati. And only half an hour they close and once again they open at 3:30. Kolleya podu. Pavam. He must be very tired, exhausted. How many people can he bless in a day? No mercy or what? Sorry. Or any kapathunumma kanna kudira kudadu. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I don't know.